Penguin Random House Audio presents The Bold World, a memoir of family and transformation. This is the author, Jodie Patterson. To Mama, for showing me how to rise up in love, and to Morrison, Hughes, Hurston, Wright, and Angelou for asking me to wander. And look out on the world and wonder what we're going to do in the face of what we remember. Langston Hughes, puzzled. Author's note. This book is a memoir, a collection of my memories from childhood through adulthood. I chose to tell the stories that I felt shed light on my understanding of gender and race. There are things I've left out and names I've changed simply to protect people I love. But each story is told to the best of my own recollection and with honesty. I created dialogue that I either specifically recalled or that I today feel is plausible and likely in order to bring the actual scenes to life and to match to the best available recollections of those events and exchanges. Prologue. The South. I've always been told that women are powerful, tenacious, and important. That we pull from limitless places, that we make magic wherever we go, shining light into the darkness, forming impenetrable shields with our love. That beneath moments of weakness are endless reserves of strength. But I, woman, am feeling none of these powers. A friend of mine once told me, parenthood means delivering optimism to your children. But I'm filled with only pessimism about the future. It's clear to me that dark envelops light, bad beats up on good. Women do, in fact, break. Smiling requires an effort I just don't have, and joy, it's packed up its bags and gone elsewhere. I need to stay with you for a while, I heard myself saying to my mother over the phone, weary from the last few years. I just need to rest. I'm here, she said without pausing. Come as soon as you can. I bought 2 plane tickets to Atlanta the next day. Although my parents brought up my sister Ramona and me in the North, my South Carolina-raised mother sprinkled our upbringing with Southern dust. We were city kids who spent summers with our grandmother in Georgia and who grew up appreciating hot bowls of grits and long family gatherings in the kitchen. These were the things that held a kind of magic for me. They were essential elements of a well-maintained soul. The South I knew had the power to fix anything. There was spirit in the soil. I believed that whatever my problems were, the South would always know what to do with them. But as I grew into adulthood, that magic had gotten lost. Somehow, I needed to find my way back. At 43 years old, I am exhausted, run ragged by the pressures, the expectations, turned fragile in the face of hardship, kept up at night by thoughts too scary to speak of during the day. With my grown-up life in full swing, there is never time to pause. I have 5 children, a husband, an ex-husband, a schedule that often leads to grinding 60-hour work weeks, and a crippling fear of the life I've created. To cope, I simply set a goal and don't stop until I, the bullet, hit the target. I'm in need of what the South holds, of the spirit in the earth and of Mama and her steady ways. Needing, too, maybe most of all, the women. My women. Those matriarchs of my lineage whose stories, voices, and faces I often lean on like prayers, especially during times like these. Times when I've lost myself completely. And so I return to the South once more, hoping to breathe the Atlanta air and remember where I come from. My mother lives in a sprawling suburb called Peachtree City. Her neighborhood is made up of neatly designed suburban dwellings and quaint dirt-covered roads that wind around the subdivision's golf courses and muddy green ponds. She left New York for Atlanta when she and my father divorced in 1989, and after a time moved into my grandmother Gloria's house, where she remained after Gloria died. While this house isn't quite the same as the one I visited during my childhood summers, it still feels like home. And even after Grandma Gloria passed away, the place still holds affectionately to her memory, her furniture, her smell, her love. When I'm at the house, my mother and I don't pull out all my baggage and spread it across her table, examining each piece to determine how to fix it, as my dad and I might have done. She isn't one to tackle obstacles that way, and I don't go to the South or to her for that. I don't go to strategize. I go because being there resets something in me. I haven't told her everything. I haven't even had the time yet to fully put into words why I'm here. But she can see the strain in my face. My hair is thinning, I've lost weight, and I have new lines and creases she's never seen before. I left 4 of the kids at home with my husband. Georgia, my first child, has come with me. I've wanted to spend time alone with Georgia for months now, but the little ones, the business, and Penelope, my 3rd child, demands so much of my time. Penelope, my determined toddler. Despite the awkwardness that has grown over the years between us, I always eventually call Mama when things get bad. After I've exhausted all my own methods and relentlessly tried to push my way through the problem, after I've looked to my girlfriends for help, after I no longer even want to be saved, when I've thrown in the towel and accepted that the thing I'm fighting is just way too big to defeat, I call Mama, knowing there's nothing more to do than yield. Mama is good at yielding. During this visit, I spend most of my afternoons alone in the sitting room. The space feels like a time capsule. There's no TV, no computer, no gadgets or telephones. Rather, it's filled with the same beautiful furniture that adorned the study in Grandma Gloria's old house. Furniture that was passed down from her mother and her mother before that. Generations of memories live inside the wooden skeletons of those pieces. And Gloria was a meticulous preservationist. There's not a tear or a scratch on any of them. After my grandmother died, my mother was reluctant to disturb anything. There was just too much of Grandma Gloria still lingering there. Instead, she opted to leave things as they were. If Grandma were to walk inside this room today, she'd know exactly where to rest her feet. The sitting room is filled with books. My grandmother had thousands of them. Her collection was enormous and never-ending. Shelves upon shelves of weathered paperbacks and sun-faded hardcovers fit snug next to pristine first editions signed by her good friend Jimmy, James Baldwin, whom she first met on a university campus in the 1960s when the South was still reeling from the fire next time. Grandma's books were always around her, sprawled across her desk, stacked on the floor, tucked under her arm. I would often catch her in the study of her old house, rereading 6 books at a time and scribbling notes in the pages, wondering what she was writing down. But the true soul of the sitting room lives in the photos. There are pictures everywhere, 19th century portraits of women elegantly posing in their best outfits, group shots taken at family gatherings in the old days, in which 4 and 5 generations sit closely together. Not so much smiling for the camera, but telling the onlooker, we are unbothered by these times. We are steadfast and courageous. I want some of that. I need to know what it takes to be just that. Digging deep into a drawer, I pull out a photo I've always loved looking at. It must have been taken in the mid-1970s. 4 generations of us women traveled to the local Sears and Roebuck to sit for a portrait. My mother's at the top left corner of the frame, a young mom, at the time barely 30. Grandma Gloria is to her right, all pointy lapel and gold dangling earrings, a pair of glasses hanging from a chain around her neck. My sister Ramona appears at the bottom left, small and defiant. And I'm on the bottom right, age 6, wearing the same polyester jumpsuit as my big sissy. Between us sits great-grandmother Lurleen. Never mind the dark sunglasses she's wearing obscure her eyes. Her penetrating gaze is unmistakable. Lurleen's signature face, perfectly captured in that photo, said, then and always, I am not playing. She had a talent for communicating a lot without saying much at all. I don't remember her smiling much either. Lurleen obtained her college degree and credits towards her master's in the early 1900s. This during the first decades of the long reign of separate but equal, a system that rarely translated into higher education for colored people. But she came from a long line of teachers, preachers, and entrepreneurs who managed to work the system and carve out a place for themselves. They gained access to an accelerated track to opportunity. With that access came a deep sense of expectation. Lurlene's parents made it very clear that there was no other direction to go but forward.
Sample complete. Ready to continue?